Let us move on to Minkowski's inequality, girls. As this is also a named theorem, you need to study the theorem statement. So the theorem statement is, if P is a value which is lying between 1 and infinity, F and G both are LP spaces, and F plus G is an LP space, we need to show that norm F plus G is less than or equal to norm F plus norm G. So we have seen Minkowski's inequality in majority of the definitions, girls. So here is the proof for it. Now, because your LP space is a linear space, from your previous lemma we know that whenever F and G are two LP spaces, their sum is also an LP space. So we don't have to prove this in general because it is already given to us in the question. Now what are we supposed to do? We are supposed to divide your Minkowski's inequality, I mean the proof of the Minkowski's inequality, into three different parts by assuming your P to be equal to 1, that is your LP space, because here only P space is given. So assume your P to be equal to 1, prove that LHS and RHS both are equal. Then in case 2, assume your P to be equal to infinity and you're proving your LHS and RHS both are equal. And in case 3, we assume your P to be lying between 1 and infinity, and you try to prove that your LHS and RHS both are equal. So now we have your case 1 here when your P is equal to 1, girls. So it's very obvious when your P is 1, LHS becomes norm F plus G over 1, which is by definition integral mod F plus G. We already know that integral mod F plus G is less than or equal to integral mod F plus integral mod G. This is your domain. So from definition, again, this is nothing but norm F, and from the definition this is nothing but norm G. So it was very simple to prove when your P was equal to 1. Now we move on to proving when your P is equal to infinity, L infinity space, that is. So your LHS becomes norm F plus G over infinity. So by definition this is nothing but essential supremum mod F plus G. So when you are essential supremum, when you are breaking it over your F and G, you get less than or equal to essential supremum mod F plus essential supremum mod G. Again by definition this is norm F and norm G. So this is how case 2 is also proved. Now we are moving on to case 3, girls, where your P is lying between 1 and infinity. So now when your P is lying between 1 and infinity and Q is a real number, we have already seen that P and Q are conjugate indices to each other, where 1 by P plus 1 by Q is equal to 1. So here we know that P and Q both are definitely greater than 1. So how are we getting this condition? So I have worked it out for you here, girls. Whenever 1 by P plus 1 by Q is 1, where Q is greater than 1, you just take the LCM of your, equate it to 1. So when you take the LCM, you get the condition, and then this PQ, you just cross multiply after taking the LCM, you get PQ equal to P plus Q. So get this Q towards left hand side, you get PQ minus Q equal to P. You can take Q common in LHS, it becomes Q times P minus 1 equal to P. The same thing you repeat it with respect to P. So you're getting two different conditions over here, girls. So the two different conditions are Q times P minus 1 is P and P times Q minus 1 is Q. So this happens when you're taking LCM, that's all. So now you consider norm F plus G over your P, because you are talking about your LP space. So this by definition again is nothing but integral mod F plus G with respect to P over closed interval 0, 1, because that is the domain. Now here what we have done is this P, we are splitting it into two parts. So P we all know can be written as P minus 1 plus 1, girls. So this mod F plus G over P can be written as mod F plus G over P minus 1 into mod F plus G over 1. So now again this is mod F plus G, girls. This mod F plus G we all know that can be written as less than or equal to mod F plus mod G, where the numerator is again 1. So therefore this complete integration will be split into two different parts by assuming your mod F to be one part of your integration, assuming your mod G to be equal to the other part of your integration. So this becomes less than or equal to, you get integration mod F plus G, P minus 1, that is common, you get mod F first and then you get mod G. So here, girls, this is 1. So whether you write, whether you don't write, it doesn't matter. Now what are we supposed to prove? We are first supposed to prove that, as you can see here in this, mod F plus G over P minus 1 is an LQ space. So this is what we are supposed to prove. How are we supposed to prove that? Let us check. Now here we have integral mod F plus G over P minus 1, because we are talking about your LQ space, you are considering your LQ space over here, that is Q over Q. So this is nothing but, I mean, we all know that, we have already, seen over here that P minus 1 times Q. So P minus 1 times Q is nothing but P. So even if you are taking over LQ, P minus 1 times Q This is p minus 1 whole power q. So p minus 1 times q. P minus 1 times q is what again? P. Again it is an LP space. Now this we know that it is nothing but norm f plus g over an LP space, which is definitely less than your infinity. So this entire term is definitely less than infinity, and hence we come to a conclusion that f plus g over f plus g with over p minus 1 is an LQ space with respect to the domain closed interval 0, 1. Now we are applying your Holder's inequality. So we have already seen, girls, what was your Holder's inequality? Your Holder's inequality was, if you just see the definition, what was your Holder's inequality? We have proved in your Holder's inequality that integral mod fg is less than or equal to norm f with respect to p into norm g with respect to q. So the same thing we are substituting it over here with respect to your Holder's inequality. Integral mod f plus g over p minus 1 into mod f is less than or equal to norm of your first modulus. So norm of your f plus d p minus 1. This is with respect to your LQ space, girls, into norm of your next function, which is nothing but norm f. So this equation number 2, we are getting it by using your Holder's inequality. This is with respect to your function f, girls. The same thing you repeated with respect to the function g, you're getting equation number 3. Now what is the purpose, that for you to write equation 2 and 3 is, girls, if you just carefully observe your equation number 1, you have split this complete thing with respect to the two functions f and g. So you're finding out the value of this part, you're finding out the value of this part using your Holder's inequality, and you're trying to substitute it over here. So we are getting equation 2 and equation 3, girls. So you can just see this part is this, and you can just see this is with respect to your function g. Now these two we have to substitute it over here. So you get norm f plus g with respect to your LP space will be less than or equal to these two values. So this is what I have written it over here. Norm f plus g with respect to p is less than or equal to, you have substituted equation number 2, you get this plus your equation number 3. So in these two, if you carefully observe, norm f plus g over p minus 1 is common. This is with respect to LQ space. And what is that you're getting? You're getting norm f plus norm g. This is what I have written in brackets, and the common part I have put it outside. So the same thing is happening over here. If you carefully observe, the same thing is happening over here. So this is the thing. But then here the difficulty is, LHS you have LP space, but RHS you have an LQ space. So we got to neglect this. How to neglect? Neglect in the sense you're not supposed to neglect, but you got to simplify and try to check what happens. So we are considering this. So which is norm f plus g over p minus 1 with respect to your LQ space. You're using the definition of norm. So the definition of norm becomes integral mod of f plus g p minus 1 over q whole power 1 by q. Girls, you are using the definition of norm with respect to LQ space. So your function is f plus g whole power p minus 1. So because this is your norm is with respect to q, it becomes whole power q whole power 1 by q, girls. So this is nothing but here. Now if you carefully observe, this is p minus 1 times q. So p minus 1 times q is nothing but p, which we have already seen it over here. You can just see this, girls. P minus 1 over q is nothing but equal to p. So the same thing I have substituted. P minus 1 over q becomes your p. So this complete thing will become your p. This is whole power 1 by q. So which is nothing but p by q. You don't have to write this statement, girls. I mean this step we have written. You can directly come down to this statement instead of writing this statement, because this now here if you just carefully observe, this is 1 by q. So 1 by q is written as 1 minus 1 by p. Why is it that 1 by q is written as 1 minus 1 by p? Because we know that 1 by p plus 1 by q is equal to 1. Here 1 by p plus 1 by q is equal to 1. So what is 1 by q, girls, from here? It is 1 minus 1 by p. So in place of 1 by q, we have written it as 1 minus 1 by p. Now this entire thing can be written as norm f plus g with respect to your LP space. So 1 by q is written as 1 minus 1 by p. I hope all of you get this. So this is nothing but again, what do we get here? Norm f plus g over p minus 1. How is it that you're getting p minus 1 over here? This is nothing but your p minus, you can just see this, girls, we are multiplying p with 1 minus 1 by p. P times 1 is p, that's what is written over here, minus p times 1 by p becomes 1. So after simplification of your p with respect to 1 minus 1 by p, you're getting the answer as p minus 1. So now here we have the condition is p minus 1. You're substituting this back in this equation. Now if you carefully observe, this entire thing was with respect to the LQ space, which has been converted to your LP space. So the major idea of here is we have to convert this into LP space, because LHS is LP space. It's very obvious that RHS also should be an LP space. So norm f plus g with respect to p minus 1. Now here girls, how are you getting this equation? So this is solved to you here. LHS is written as it is. You have RHS here. This part is written as it is. This entire thing is whole power p minus 1. This whole power p minus 1 can be written as power p by norm f plus g girls, which I have written it clearly for you here. So LHS is norm f plus g power p, which is less than or equal to norm f plus norm g. And this part, after simplifying, it is becoming whole power p minus 1. This whole power p minus 1 is norm f plus g with respect to whole power p by this is 1. So it becomes simply norm f plus g. This is with respect to your LP space. Now if you carefully observe the right hand side, this part, and the left hand side, this part is getting cancelled. Now this term which is in the denominator, this is whole power 1 girls. This is whole power 1. This comes to your LHS. So you get norm f plus g, this is whole power 1 girls, is less than or equal to norm f plus norm g. The same thing is written over here. Norm f plus g is less than or equal to norm f plus norm g. So please do not get confused. So here this term is split to numerator and denominator. So numerator, both the terms are getting cancelled. The denominator term in the right hand side is being carried to your numerator. Once again I am just showing you. So this is the thing. This is the thing. These two are getting cancelled. Now this with respect to 1 is being carried forward here, is less than or equal to norm f plus norm g.